Aloha. Welcome back to the Real Trash Podcast. I am Noah James Markham, and welcome back to another Real Trash Podcast episode with me, where we talk about trashy subjects from politics to trashy subjects from Disney news to just trashy subjects from celebrity news to and then also we talk about my weekly update and how my week is doing. And you get to be the counselor, and the I get to be the patient. Everybody, okay? So yeah, we have a few topics that we talk about, and yeah, sometimes we talk about random subjects too on our podcast too. But yeah, the number one thing I like to talk about on my podcast is, can you guess if you've been on my podcast before, and if you listen to my podcast before, you know what I talk about. But I'm going to welcome anybody that has not been on my podcast yet. So if you know my number one topic, I'm going to say the number one topic right now. The number one topic I talk about is disability. And yes, I've had it my whole life. I've had a disability my whole life. And yeah, I've had hard of hearing my whole life since the day I was born, 1998. I was born with hard of hearing, and it's a hearing problem. Uh, yeah, and I was diagnosed with that. And so also I can talk to deaf people, and it's so cool to be able to talk to deaf people. It's called sign language, American Sign Language. Yeah, so I can communicate that way with deaf people. Also, um, I have intellectual disabilities too, so I have a learning disability. So that means I might need a little more help in certain areas of school. That means I might need an interpreter to maybe understand class better, or I might need different steps from doing homework to doing stuff in the class to doing out in testing areas too. So, but that doesn't mean that you don't have the what is the word? That doesn't mean you can't do what other people can do. Don't ever let that barrier stop you. And I'll tell you that right now. Sometimes don't ever hear no. But yes, so that is my top topic. I like to talk about my number one subject on here. So welcome, aloha, welcome to the Real Chats podcast. Hello, my name is Noah James Markham, and I am from the island of Oahu. And yes, I proudly from there, Honolulu. I'm from Hawaii. Yes. But yeah, so let's get into this podcast series this week. And yeah, welcome and thank you for being here on the Real Trash Podcast. Okay, let's do it. Well, welcome to the Real Chats podcast. As you can see in my intro, I have a really cool intro, a little interesting intro. Yes, that was me, Tinkerbell, for Halloween one year. So yeah, that was who I am. You know, I like to dress up in costumes, and that was one year. So I'm a little funky, and I love to invite anybody to my podcast from the LGBTQ plus community. I'm very diverse person, so yeah. But today, welcome to another podcast episode. Thank you for being here today on another podcast episode with me, because it is great and refreshing to be here with you guys again on another one. Yeah, so this will be about my weekly update and how my week has been, and yeah, and what I've been since the election is done. And what I have noticed right now, we're still kind of talking about the election sometimes too. Like I said, I like to talk about politics too. Um, and hopefully next week, maybe we will switch subjects on a different subject next week. But what I've noticed is that now that the Dems have lost the election, it's so funny that people like to blame the president of the United States, and that's Joe Biden. Um, and I'm on the opposite of the Dems, where these Dems are complaining that Kamala would have won if Joe Biden would have stepped sooner out of the picture. And I fundamentally disagree on that statement that Dems are getting mad at Joe Biden. Because Joe Biden told them that he could win. And it might have been a narrow path to victory, but he could have won the election again. He was the only one that beat him once. Donald Trump beat him once. And I know he could have done it again, but it might have been narrow. But I know he could have beaten him. And what is surreal, because the Israel and Palestine thing that's been going on for a long time, I had to really look back at the debate with Donald Trump and Joe Biden in 2024. And it's so crazy because when I was watching it, and he was explaining what he needs to do with this plan to get a plan done, so to get a ceasefire deal done. But he had an actual plan that he was getting done. And if you go back into that debate, he tells you what he needed to do to get this deal done. When Kamala Harris was in place, she really didn't explain how she could effectively get this deal done. So that's the difference about them. But it's over now. But Joe Biden could have won this election, and I believe it might have been really narrow way of him winning, but I do believe that he could have won again. And a lot of you guys may not like this, but it is so true. People doubted Joe Biden for so many years. Joe Biden was the youngest person to ever run as a representative in the U.S. House. And he won because people thought he was too young to run. That was the first thing. They thought he was too young to run. And what did he do? He proved everybody wrong, and he got through. He won. So he's been through a lot of obstacles in his life, and I give him so many props for what he has done. And now he's giving the transfer of power to Donald Trump, but also he's doing it peacefully and respectfully, as you should do as the president of the United States. Donald Trump did not do that, and that people have not seen what he has done the last time with the Capitol. And I guess the people really don't look at those fundamental things, and I don't think people look at those kind of characters. And I gotta cut, But yeah, so people don't really look at what happened, right? They're looking at the economy and how they are surviving in this economy. And people keep on saying that Joe Biden is the one that wreck this economy up. And I don't know why we keep on thinking Joe Biden wrecked the economy up. Joe Biden has had to build the economy back because of what Donald Trump has done in his administration. And so, that it's ridiculous that what Donald Trump has done. And now, he's done some other things, and that was abortion too. And the big thing of Roe versus Wade, luckily, we got an appeal here, and I'm so grateful that I helped through that process in Arizona to get an appeal here back into our capital of Arizona and sign it into our law here in Arizona. We don't ever have to worry about this ever again. But yeah, it's just ridiculous that people are talking about Joe Biden and saying how horrible because he didn't step aside. He told you guys, Democrats, that he could have won. And you guys didn't listen to what he was saying. And the people that were not the president decided, oh, you know what, let's just come out because we representatives think he didn't do a great job. So, we're just going to come out and speak for him and think that we know everything, that we know that he's not going to do a good job. So now we need to elect somebody else as the new candidate for president. And so they had to do that. And look what happened. Look what happened. They chose somebody else, which is great. We had a new candidate, Kamala Harris. I was on board. I was great with it. But like I said, Joe Biden beat Donald Trump once. He could have beaten him again. And he is the president of the United States. Okay? President of the United States. President of the United States. You know what I mean? And people of the House of Representatives and the senators are telling him to move, not run again. That makes no sense because they're not even the ones that won the election to become president. So it's very frustrating. But I'm very honored that I talk about Joe Biden all the time. And I'm honored to talk about his name all the time because there's a lot of people that don't agree with me. And I talk to a lot of them. People that don't agree with me that he had dementia and da 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 da. I said, but look what he's still doing. He's still up there, up on the stage. It's the president. So don't tell me that he couldn't do the job. I don't want to hear that again. But I bet I'm going to hear from a lot of Democrats. But yeah, so that has been that. Okay. We will see what Donald Trump does with his administration. There's stuff going on right now. He's picking cabinet members for his administration. You know what's going on with that. And yeah. And now let's go into my weekly life. My daily life, or like just my weekly life, and how my week has been. Yeah, my week has been pretty crazy. I'll say that for sure. Geez, like, let's just say, I got into a little conversation with my sister, and my dad, and they're delusional as usual. They're thinking that Trump is gonna do better in the economy, and okay, if we think so, I'm just gonna let them watch for 4 years and see. Some people may not even notice. People may be like, "Oh my God, he still is doing great and did great in his term," you know. um, this presidency coming up, so they may not even notice. I noticed that people that have addictions and can't realize it sometimes. Like, okay, let's say I'm very honest that, yeah, I had an addiction in my life, but that doesn't stop me from being who I am. And you need to learn how to roll out of it. Some people don't know how to do that. Yeah, so it's really tough living with another in the roommate. He can be cuckoo too. Um, and so I really noticed that, you know what, I'm very thankful in Arizona that we surpass, and I think the votes are still being counted in Arizona, but the Latino vote did very good here in Arizona. So thank you so much, Democrat Latinos. Thank you very much for voting for blue here. Now, it's kind of off on the white. I think it might be the white man. But yeah, Arizona's doing better on the blue. Now, some of the counties, we got to do better with the blue too. So next election, we'll do better. But yeah, and then, just I got an eviction notice again this month. And I don't have a say in what I want to do with the money because my sister likes to gamble, and she thinks she can be in control of everything. This is how she's been since I was younger. And my other sisters think the same way. They think they can control us and control me or control my younger siblings because I don't know what it is that they think they can do that, but it's so weird why they do that. They think they have the power because they've done so much for us, and I appreciate for what they have done for us, but at the same time, there's a lot of things they didn't do for us. And so that's another factor. There's a lot of things they didn't teach me that who I am is the person I am today that they didn't teach me. I did learn something that they would always call me a faggot, always a faggot. So I learned that one very quick. Faggot means, I don't know, what a gay person, but it's called a faggot, a fag. I learned that very easily in my life, and they still gonna call me that, or they always ask me, "Are you gay?" Like, stay out of my business. Like, really, this is like the questions. Are you gay? Are you faggot? Like, you know, why is it your business to be in that business of my world? It's like everything in control. And that's like the controlness, like right there. It's like right there, that middle part right there. It's always been like that. If I act a little weird, if I talk a little weird, if I do this, if I dance a little weird, if I do crazy things, like if I do my nails, are you a fag? Are you a faggot? Are you gay? I always hear that. It's like, it's very tiring of what you told me. It's like, it just doesn't slide by me anymore. But, it's just, I don't know if that's the mentality or because they're not in my generation. I don't know what it is. Um, but yeah, like they just think they have more power. I don't know. And I noticed that not just even in my sisters, but the people she's around or the people that she talks to, they're very they think they have a sense of power for some reason, and then they raise their voices to get more power. And I think that's where my mother comes into place. I was talking to her yesterday, um, and she was like beyond. And I know she has problems with her family, right? Her brothers and sisters. And yeah, I can see why she has problems with her brothers and sisters because they all have a control freak problem. And it's so sad. Even her mother does. But like, I'm not that kind of person that's gonna say, I mean, I'll say it to their face, but the controlness is so bad that it's a freak out. Like, it's like, oh my God, and they're trying to tell me things like, oh, you need to stop doing this. You need to stop doing that. I'm like, honey, you telling me this stuff and I like already know this stuff. And it's like the same things they do. It's like the same stuff they always do. They lie. They they fight with each other and they have so much controlness. And if you don't agree with them, it's like control. And it's like, you're not talking to me. I don't want to talk to you. Shut your phone. It's like, okay, honey, what is wrong with you? you know, like, I don't know what's wrong with you, honey. But you might need some help. I don't know. And some people don't want help. And that's really sad too, that some people don't want help. Um, but you can get help if you want. I'm just saying that to you, like, if you want to get some counseling services, it's always there for you. And if somebody tells you that you need the help and, oh, you need the counseling, maybe they deep inside need to look at themselves before they try to tell you something that you need. Um, and so, yeah, that's been a journey of itself. You know, counseling is great for everybody, but some people don't want it and they have so much control that they want to tell you need the help. And some people, even in the counseling world, they may need the help still themselves. Nobody is perfect, right? Um, so yeah, it's always trying to figure out how to maintain this sanity of living with Trump people, right? Or being around them because it's like nothing gets through their head without live through. It's like nothing goes through their head. Um, I don't know what it is. And so, have this cough and I need to get a hold of it to go to the doctors. And, I've had to, I had COVID and now I have this cough that won't go away. It's just staggering cough. I wish it would go away, but it has not got away yet. I need to go to the doctor for this one too. But yeah, I hope you guys watch my YouTube videos too. I know I did a Halloween video, and then also I did a Christmas decoration video with the Christmas tree. So yeah, it's really nice to have and be able to have the holidays. Grateful for those. And when I hear people they hate these holidays, I'm like, I'm grateful that I can be able to do this, even though I might not have a present under the tree. I'm gonna decorate the tree. I'm also gonna go to Halloween. Luckily this year I could go. So that was cool, and luckily I got my nails done this year. And I didn't even have to do that because the person that I was, Bree, right? She's just iffy, she's always been like that. And so it's just the one that stole my money. Remember, her boyfriend stole money from me. And, I just knew I can't talk to her anymore because it just keeps on happening like that. And it just feels weird. Like the kid, there's something wrong with the kid. I don't know what's wrong. I hope she's okay. And then I hope she's okay. I wish the family the best. Um, but yeah, I can feel the intensity and the vibe and how there's just lies, and I just feel like she's gonna steal my money again. Or like steal stuff from me. I don't know. Like it's just procrastination sometimes. Well, all the time from her. So and I have to hide stuff from her because I don't feel safe around here. Like that's not a friend. I'll tell you, that's not a friend for sure. Um, mm-mm. But yeah, I'm thankful for my other friend. Even though that she voted for Trump, I'm not okay with her voting for Trump. But if she complains to me about him, I would tell her, okay, yeah, you shouldn't have it. But also she has a fiance that's white and uneducated. That's a big one. White uneducated people voted for Trump, and he's uneducated. He doesn't have an education, and he's not educated. So that's another big factor on that one. Oh yeah, and then so now I'm in this trying to figure out stuff with Social Security. That's the big thing I guess they need a update on my hearing to make sure I am not telling anything false about my hearing. Like, hello, I have hearing aids. Like, it's been my whole life. Like, you'd not see records of my whole life. Like, I guess not. So I guess I have to prove to them that my disability is still there and it's frequent now. So now I have to go and get that checked this month pretty soon. Yeah, so I have that stuff I need to do this month. And then school, I'm really figuring out the path with school right now. I need to make sure that gets done next year because I would like to start by January, but I need to make sure that I have the right accommodation, everything is set right. I had to talk to the congressman's staff to make sure I have some information. And then I'm talking to other lawyers too. But we'll see the results from that. So, school is a lot of processing right now with that. Because, I haven't been in school for almost 7 years. and having disabilities. It's not that easy after 7 years, but some people say it's good that you've been out of school that long because you know what you need to do, or you've had more life skills, and now that you can go back to school now, and now you can be more prepared than when you were younger. So I said, okay, that makes a lot more sense. That does make more sense because I've been out of school for 7 years. But also it's kind of crazy, like 26. I think I was 18. Yeah, 18 when I went into school. So yeah, that's a little frightening trying to go back to school after 7 years. At 18, I went to college. I think I got out at 19. And then, yeah, I didn't have the right help. So now I'm really trying to figure everything out right now at school. But yeah, I would love to go back to school. I'm still trying to figure out if I want to do an online class, because there's not that many spots. But also, I want to be in person sometimes, because sometimes in person is better. But then you never know. Like, online might be better for this course. Like, I don't know, maybe I should take an online class. So it's just tricky about that part too. Because, it's cool that they have online stuff too that I can do. But like I have a lot more accommodations that I need and a lot more stuff that I will need in college. But you never know, maybe the person can take notes. I don't know. That's kind of tricky. Maybe it's not tricky. Try to do online class. Um, so yeah, maybe I'll try it that way. I don't know yet. I'm still hesitant which way to go for this when I try to go. And then the FAFSA stuff. That's a whole little ball game too. Another thing. I have to make sure I get my FAFSA that's updated, and Social Security is another pain in the butt. Pain, 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 pain. I am so sorry for people that have to go through this. And I hope this will not have to be the process ever again. Um, I'm not going to say, I hope people don't have to go through what I have to go through or what everybody else has to go through, this pain to get this Social Security. It's a long process and hard process. And some people, I don't like how Social Security works too on certain things. And for example, with Social Security, I'm talking about, like you could be on Social Security, and if you're younger than 18 and you don't have a disability, but like if your dad had got disability, then you can put your kid and you can get money for your kid. But that's not cool. And this is why the system not working how it works. So yeah, that's another aspect I don't like about that disability system. Because people like us, like me, disabled, we don't even have our check yet. So yeah, so this is a lot of stuff that come into play with this. But yeah, so thank you for being on another podcast episode, and thank you for being on another weekly update with me. Please help me out, y'all. Okay, I don't know what you you guys. Oh, what? No, I gotta get through another week. Like, y'all, it's tough out there, and now it's gonna be tougher because Donald Trump's in place. But maybe it won't be. I don't know, but I know it will be. I was talking to people texting people, and they're like, "Oh my God, I don't think it's ever gonna get better after his term." I'm like, "Girl, I know it's kind of crazy. It's silly to say that kind of stuff." But yeah, luckily I have some Democrat friends to talk to. If I need to talk about this information, then yes, we can talk about it. But yeah, so help me through this week because I need help this week. The next few weeks, yo. And yeah, I think I'm going for my hearing test, for my hearing aid test this next week. So I'm really excited to get that done. Because actually, I do need to check my hearing aids for your information because my hearing aids haven't been checked for a minute. It's 2 years, I think, 1 year or two. I don't know, but I need to get this checked because it really does need to get checked. It's usually supposed to get checked every year. So this is nice to get a checkup on my hearing aids. But yeah, so thank you so much for being here on another podcast episode with me, you guys. Thank you for listening to my trashy subjects and my trashy news and my weekly updates because I need something to talk to. And please just pray for me while I'm going through these people with these Trump people in my family and even just people in this house and um, even Trump family that I have around my life. Please pray for them, okay? If you can, or just wish me luck. That's a better one. Just wish me luck because some of them are just outrageous, outrageous. Um, you guys. But yes, great. Thank you for watching my podcast episode. Thank you for watching my YouTube videos. Thank you. Please go get anybody to subscribe to my channel. And thank you for watching my podcast, my reels, and my YouTube videos. And at the end of my YouTube videos and my Real Trash podcast, I always say this at the end of them. And thank you for being here. And thank you for the supporters. I really appreciate this. And I can't wait for the next episode to come out. And yeah, so I'll see you until next time. And ahui ho. And always be yourself. Love y'all. Bye. See you on the next Real Trash podcast. Love y'all. Bye. And help. Okay, bye. Bye. See you later. Wish me luck this week. Bye. Bye-bye. See y'all later.